I'm mother Becca for having my niece's dress photoshopped because she wore white to my wedding. So I got married. Yay! Honestly, it was my dream wedding. Everything went off without a hitch. Except for one small thing. My niece's dress. It was a white, lacy knee light dress. She even wore lace elbow lights gloves. Honestly, it looks just like a wedding dress. I didn't say anything to her or her parents, my brother and sister-in-law in the moment, and I tried my best to ignore it. But when I got the first drafts back from our photographer, I couldn't stand when I saw her in the white dress standing next to me. My husband saw how upset I was and suggested that we pay extra to get my niece's dress photoshopped to a light blue. We thought it through, and since we had some budget left, we went for it. Well, last week we got the final photos back and they look great. I could hardly even tell that my niece was originally wearing white and she still looked really nice. I posted some of the photos on social media and my sister-in-law messaged me and was very angry that I photoshopped my niece without checking with her. She accused me of thinking my niece was ugly and of body shaming her. To be clear, I didn't have her body photoshopped, only the color of her dress and gloves. I don't think I'm in the wrong, but this situation has been stressed me out. So, I'm out the beggar here. I'm out the beggar for calling father-in-law a pervert. I have a 7-month-old baby boy. I'm breastfeeding, but baby is currently weaning. I'm convinced that my father-in-law is being weird about my breastfeeding and not in a that makes me uncomfortable way. I made the baby popsicles from my boob milk a few months ago and father-in-law put in the group chat that I'd love to try one of those with the hearts as eyes emoji. I said, what the hell, they're made from breast milk. And he said he didn't notice that caption. Today I baked the baby some muffins. It's a recipe that called for a half cup of breast milk, so I made them per recipe. Father-in-law came up, announced it, and said, oh yum, someone's been baking. So I told him, those muffins are for the baby. They're just fruit, flour, and breast milk. I have a normal cake we can have. I then left the room to wash my hands, came back, and one of the muffins was missing. I asked husband and he had no idea, so I asked father-in-law, and he said that he ate it. I said that's disgusting. I told him they were the babies and contained breast milk. He doubled down and said it's okay because breast milk is vegan. Note, no one in this story is vegan. I told him he's creepy pervert and to get the hell out of my house. Husband is baffled by the whole thing and was convinced it was a misunderstanding, even though I explicitly said they're made with the breast milk. Father-in-law said I'm a bad guy because I'd made lots and the baby would miss out. Mother-in-law was blowing up my phone until I asked her if she was really okay with father-in-law drinking milk that came direct from my breasts. I think she didn't get the whole story. My sisters say it's gross and father-in-law it's a weirdo. And kind of update. I asked my husband what he thought. I was mad about. He was in the room, but on the other side and occupied with the baby. And he said he didn't realize that his dad actually ate the muffin. He thought I was pissed because he was messing with them. He also didn't remember the group chat incident, but agreed that both incidents together is creepy. I called mother-in-law to clear the air, and she revealed that father-in-law has always been very interested in location, and she actually only fed husband for 4 months and always behind a locked door. Apparently, he moved jobs after a woman complained that he kept intruding on her, pumping in a designated space in the office. Have told them father-in-law it's not welcome around me and have asked for the key to our house back. I shared the concerns about him tampering with my milk, and also that if his only wife wanted him locked out, then I'm entitled to do that. The comment that hit my husband was the one about father-in-law getting off for years on the memory of eating the baby muffin. Husband said he wasn't able to look father-in-law in the eye again. So what do you think? I'm at the baker for adding almond extract to all of my food because of my roommate's allergy and refusing to even consider shared meal preparing. Me and my roommate Amanda normally have an okay relationship. We mostly leave each other alone. But for the past few months, I have had a huge issue with Amanda stealing my food. At least every other day something gets taken. Amanda gets very defensive and denies it whenever I ask her. She's raised her voice and say things like, "No, I didn't even like a chili," or "I don't even like lemon chicken, it wasn't me," or "Alright, because I'm big." Is that it? I get 2 candy apples and wrote on the container to not touch them, since one was for my sister. I watched from the hallways as Amanda ate both my apples. I waited a few minutes to ask Amanda if she ate them. Amanda lied straight to my face and told me she never touched them. The last straw was when I baked 2 cakes 2 weeks ago. I told Amanda to not touch it since it was for potluck, but that it was a small gathering so I could save a piece of her after if she wanted. Amanda told me no thank you, but then later dug out a piece with her hands. Yes, with her hands. She couldn't even cut herself a slice. She dug out a hunk from the center of the cake with her fingers. I had to throw the entire cake away and was extremely pissed off since I worked hard on that cake, and Amanda completely trampled over the boundary that I set. I know that Amanda is allergic to almonds, so I've begun adding almond extract to all of my food. I make sure to only use a small drop. That way there is only a faint flavor that I've basically gotten used to by now. I wrote, "has almond extract" on all of my food in thick Sharpie, and also spoke to Amanda about it. Amanda got angry and said it was messed up to put something she's allergic to in all of my food. I told Amanda it's only her problem if she eats my food. If she's being honest about not eating my food, then there shouldn't be an issue. 3 of me and Amanda's mutual friends have reached out because of this. Amanda works at a hospital, so obviously the shifts are extremely long and stressful. And my friends said that when you are tired at the end of the long day, having an insistent meal at home is just way easier. They said I could do whatever I wanted, but said the kind thing will be to make a large dish that both me and Amanda could eat from throughout the week, since I already do this every Sunday for my grandparents. I know I'm probably the bad guy for saying it, but I told my friends that I just don't care. Amanda can meal prepare her own food on her off days or look into her hospital cafeteria offers employees discounts. Amanda's a grown adult and I'm not her mom. My friends agreed. I had no technical obligation, but it was about decency, kindness, and making an effort with the people you live with. I'm at the beggar for continuing to add almond extract to my food and refusing to even consider shared meal preparing with Amanda. I'm at the beggar for telling my mom that my brother didn't invite my son over for a slumber party. I have a 10-year son, Julian, who's pretty close with my nephew cousin, Parker. You can't separate them when they are 8 together. I live 2 blocks away from my brother, his wife and Parker. I asked my brother on Friday if Parker went to Julian to spend the weekend at his house since it was a long weekend. My brother said they had already made plans. I asked what plans, and maybe Parker would like to help Julius to tag along so he has a playtime. He said it was something for his wife. On Saturday, I found out that my brother lied. Parker actually had a slumber party. I found out because I saw them all walk into Denny's yesterday morning. I called my brother out and he said he didn't want my son to feel left out, so he lied. He said it didn't feel right to have an incident 10 years old around a bunch of 12 years old boys because they'd eat him alive. I said that was bullshit and he needs to text Julius right now and ask if he would like to join this weekend slumber party because he'll be crushed if he finds out that he was left out. He said no. So I ended up calling our mom, who lives with my brother, and explained the situation. That caused a lot of drama between her and my brother and my sister-in-law. But my son got invited and declined because he's holding out to go to the aquarium. My brother was livid and said that if he had asked in the first place, then none of this wouldn't have happened and there would be no drama. I'm the bad guy for refusing to let my mother-in-law stay with us because she's upper class. My husband grew up with a family with similar amounts of money as mine, but I grew up solidly blue-collar middle class. My dad was a boat repairman with all my uncles, while my husband grew up more in a white-collar world, playing polo, sailing, owning horses, etc. We had a vacation home in a small beach town where we spent our whole summers, while my husband's family spent 2 weeks each summer in the Hamptons. Our families just spend their money differently. We are all still about the same bracket, but act differently. My husband's family occasionally visits us since we own a house with a guest room, where they're nice but very different. For example, their homes are immaculate, nothing ever out of place. They move very deliberately with everything they do. I'm not dirty at all, but I will sometimes leave out books I'm reading for a few days and have more clutter. They don't swear ever. I will swear if the situation warrants it, but never like at someone, more when telling a story. They're just a bit more uptight, which makes it hard for me to be totally authentic with them. They also judge me when I'm not the same as them. For example, they show up unannounced to drop in. I'm like, sorry, it's a little messy. We didn't know you were coming. They look around and say, yeah, I see that. Or when they met my parents and my dad dropped a few F-bombs at my parents' house and he had a few beers in him. They were shocked and clearly uncomfortable. Some dirt gets on the floor from someone's boots, and I don't pick it up right away. Someone is pointing out on me instead of just waiting 5 minutes until I finish what I'm doing. Even cooking is different. My family is from Spain, so we make, in my opinion, amazing food and go all out. And don't worry about cleaning until after. They make very safe meals, like pasta, very carefully, and never let a single thing drop out of the saucepan. Everything is moderated. My mother-in-law recently asked if she could stay with us for a month. I like my mother-in-law and don't mind her staying with us occasionally, but I always needed to do a deep clean, to be super careful of any messes while she's here. Speak in low tones and never swear. It's like I can only show so much of myself and always need to be careful. I can't do that for a month. I told my husband no, and he got upset. He said I'm more open with my family and I should open up to his family. I told him I can't because they say they want to be close, but then judge me every time I do something less classy than them or act different. He told me I need to just ignore them and be myself and allow them to come over. I refused. He's angry, and now we're at the stalemate. So I'm the bad guy here. And yeah, our bench house was tiny, with 1 bedroom and 3 seating porch for the kids. and we share it with all of our cousins and aunt and uncles. We also renting out during the off-season. We did not grow up learning how to ski. We went to public school and did not travel much. My husband traveled the work, went to Aspen, and hung out with people much richer than him as a kid. His parents did everything they could to maintain that lifestyle, including working in multiple jobs, renting vacation homes in desirable locations for a week instead of buying, and etc. We came from similar money brackets. But his parents really wanted the upper-class lifestyle, while mine wanted to stay more blue-collar in nature. My parents both came from serious poverty, but did well with his business that he started when I was a child. I was unaware that there could be these subtle class differences until I met his family. My husband's long-term ex was super wealthy, so that doesn't help. I never claimed not to be privileged. I'm so grateful to have grown up in my situation and have amazing childhood memories. Whether you want to call this a lifestyle or class difference, there is a clear difference between his family's expectations and mine. So what do you think? I'm at the bad guy for going back on an offer to adopt my cousin. I was visiting family in South America 13 years ago. I met one of my cousin kids for the first time. The young woman had just had her third kid and has been left by her boyfriend. He was the father of only the latest kid. She looked so worn down and sad. When I got back home, I spoke with my wife, and she agreed that if his family was okay with it, we wouldn't adopt her youngest kid. It was an offer, not a demand, and we made sure to explain that we will help her out monetarily with the other two as well. I was adopted in a similar manner, so I have always felt a desire to pay it forward. My adoptive parents are also related to my biological parents, and they help them with money too. Well, it became a huge deal. I was trying to steal a kid just because I had money and blah blah blah. So I said no problem and walked away from the offer. Well, that baby is 13 now, and his mother has had 2 more kids. She's being supported by her mom but not doing great. Her 2 oldest kids are working and going to school, but the 13 years old is a bit of jerk, I guess. Skipping school and hanging out with the wrong people. My family contacted me to see if I were still willing to help him out by bringing him up here. I passed. There is a big difference between a baby and a 13 years old troublemaker. Plus, I'm a 50 now, and I don't really have the energy to deal with that shit. So I declined. My family down there and shouting on me for going back off my offer. So I offered to pay all of his expenses down, that is, if any of them will take him in. Nobody thought that was a good deal. I feel bad for the kid. I have a very good idea how his life is going to go. I just don't think that I'm the person to fix his problem. So, am I the bad guy here?